Women not only are more than men, but they seems to be also smarter than men, especially American women. We notice this big difference, especially right now, when you see that in the polls, the difference between Obama and Romney among women is 16%, while the difference between Obama and Romney among men is only 3%. Why? It's just only because women are so much interested in reproduction and so on? I don't think so. I think that women are much smarter than men in America because they have to earn their way up. It's more or less like any minority or any gay person, with the exception that women are actually the majority of the population, they're not the minority of the population. And also, if you look as an average to the American men and their attitude, is a kind of a childish. They still live in a world in which they never grow up. They still live in a world in which going to a college is just to screw up or get drunk or fight or get a sports or whatever, rather than really grow up as a person. Mostly men are being spoiled by their family. They never make mistakes, and their family, they don't tell them they make mistakes, because this is in the American Constitution. American men are spoiled since they were born. That's the point. They always been told that they have to be soldiers, they have to be perfect, and even if they make mistakes, nobody tell them that they make mistakes. So they arrive at this situation in which they really believe that every problem can be solved in 2 seconds, and every situation can be solved in 2 seconds, even the worst one, because this has to be done. We saw it during the last 3 years. Mostly American men, they didn't understand, refused to understand, and you see with the pundits on television and so on, that when you are in a deep crisis, economic crisis, your reaction to the crisis is to socialize as much as possible and work together. But the American individualism didn't bring to that. Maybe America, to learn something, should have had a World War II at home. If Americans, they had a World War II at home, they probably learned a little bit the meaning of socializing, the meaning of working together to rebuild stuff, not just staying in your own lone. And the worst thing is that it seems that these men, they didn't learn anything from 9/11, as well as they didn't learn anything from this recession, because they still believe that a 1% supporter like Mitt Romney can help them, most of them without job, to solve their own problems. They still live in the idea that maybe one day they will be as Mitt Romney, while the probability that this happen is 0.0000001%. These men, they don't want to wake up from a dream of childish attitude. And I am a man. That's a funny thing. But I believe that we are becoming more and more idiotic, more and more spoiled, more and more childish, more and more I don't know. I don't see any positive attitude in most of the men that I know, which is kind of sad. I mean, you expect that the majority of the men, at a certain point, they grow up. There is a moment in which, oh, come on, we are in the 21st century. Do you realize that? Do you really understand that we need to have, that women has to be protected, that you have to protect minorities, that we need to have social services, that we need to take care of each other, that we need to have clean energy. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? that these things is not happening? I mean, and this is not, isn't that weird that they support Mitt Romney? Really? Come on. This man is a complete failure. They didn't give a chance to Obama to do anything. And this is typical from men. They expect to have a president that is like John Wayne. Give them a gun and they prefer to masturbate on their gun rather than have a real sex with a woman with all the consequences that real sex can have. Look at the NRA. I mean, the NRA is the maximum example of masculinity, idiotic, childish attitude with respect to the world.